3, 2, 1. Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear. Gotta love the vocal fry.
Hello, hello.
Oh, we're online.
Yes,
Are
we
we
are.
up? We're streaming?
Yes, we are.
It's been forever, man.
Yes, it has been.
It has been a long
Yes.
time. We have so much has happened in this world between.
I know. Yes.
So,
welcome to Robot and the Bear, number 53.
53.
Yeah, 53.
Wow. It's funny because I think we thought all right, we once we hit 40, it's all smooth sailing.
Yeah, well, I thought this bundle of money was supposed to come from the helicopter.
Right.
And it didn't happen. Wait, I think we're frozen online. That's my opinion.
Really? Let me check.
Yeah, it looks frozen.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think we're frozen.
Because people were so excited to see us.
Yeah, broke the internet.
We broke the internet.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep, frozen as fuck.
Oh no.
I'm gonna stop the stream and start it over.
All right. Okay.
Nothing but technical problems.
Yeah, it happens. It's okay. It's been a while. We've neglected the equipment for a couple months.
Yeah, I don't know. So wait.
Oh,
okay.
It's live.
It looks live now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's an echo.
Yeah.
It looks live now.
Yeah. All right. There it is. I'm turning it off.
All righty.
So awesome. How have you been? It has been a couple months, I think.
Has it been that long?
Has it been? Let me check. 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
According to YouTube, 2 months. We have neglected our podcast, but the world's been crazy.
So wait, we did just so people know, for those who care anyway, we were once setting up we were talking about gonna podcast. You came to GR2, we hung out, we ended up talking the shit out of the day. We talked enough, and then I was like, well, are we supposed to do the podcast tonight? And then you're like, oh no. Because we ended up talking
I know. We should have just rigged up the gallery with microphones
I was actually really happy that day because you came and we talked. So
yeah, it was fun.
You know what? So fuck all of you. Sorry.
You missed it. It was a secret Robot and the Bear session.
It was an awesome one. That was the best podcast of all. So we do have someone tuning in from Paris.
Whoa.
Awesome. Yeah, A.
Nice.
Letter A.
Well,
anyways,
thanks for tuning in.
Welcome from Paris. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Did you see the funny thumbnail that I threw up for our?
I did. 2 people wearing masks, Asians. Could be us.
It was the 2 guys who were riding a roller coaster, 2 executives or whatever that were riding a Japanese roller coaster, proving that you could ride a roller coaster without screaming.
Oh wow, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's about screaming in your heart.
Wow, I heard that. So tell me about that bear in the bed back there.
Oh, this? It's a secret project. I'm kind of teasing it out. I don't have a plant of any sort here,
any little thing. But okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little something that I'm working with a couple of friends of mine.
Cool.
We should have them on the podcast sooner than later, or maybe when we get closer to its launch date, and so hopefully that will work out. But,
sounds good.
So 2 months. We've had riots. Giant Robot?
We had protests.
We had protests. Then we had quote unquote. We had looting.
Yes.
Was Giant Robot affected by any of this?
Yes. We did get looted. I didn't really. It was a strange time. It was one of those things. Yeah. So if I would have posted, "Hey, I got looted," someone would have said, oh, fuck you, you're taking away from the movement by posting this, right? It was sort of like this time of like, you could post, you could do no good by posting anything, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
That was my opinion.
Right.
Because any little thing I posted was always getting shot down by some, troll or something, right? It felt like that. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. But I did get looted.
Which store got looted?
Giant Robot store. It was the most minor possible way to be looted, but yeah, it happened. So we boarded up. It was the day after Sunday, the Sunday of Santa Monica looting, right? That was on a Sunday.
I remember watching that on TV.
So the following day we boarded up. It was already like a really strange day because everybody was uneasy on the street,
Right.
and everybody wanted to board up. But I had it set up because I know a lot of construction people,
Mm-hmm.
because I had work done at my house, and
Mm-hmm.
they're cool. So I talk to them sometimes, and I hit them up and I said, hey man, I need to be boarded up. And they, like cavalry, man, the 6 guys came, and they came with a truck with 10-foot boards and started boarding up. And my neighbor was trying to hire them. Everybody on the street was trying to hire my guys away from me, like practically. It was really weird. I was like, whoa.
Even though
And-
your store had already been looted.
No. I got looted that night. So I boarded up, and there's a side window that's small, and the guy got the window open and started taking stuff from the window. And the window has metal bars, So that person, I was thinking, couldn't get in. But here's what basically was happening. I play Warzone, right? I started playing Warzone in the last 2 months.
Okay.
Call of Duty Warzone. I
Right.
love it.
Okay.
So I'm playing. It's 1:45 or 12:45. I forgot. I think it's 1:45 a.m.
Mhm.
I get an alert on my phone that there's a sound in my shop. And I'm assuming, maybe it's a loud truck that drove by because, there's cameras and stuff. And I assumed it was a loud truck. I look at my camera, like just beam it up in between games, right? In between games. And I look and I'm like, I see movement, and I could hear loud noises. So right then I'm watching it live. And right then and there, I called 911. There was a curfew that day already, or that night set up.
Right.
And the police came. They came, I don't know how much after I called, maybe 5 minutes or something,
Uh-huh.
10 minutes. And they, according to them, they saw taillights far down the street, like many, many blocks away.
Uh-huh.
But it's a curfew. You shouldn't have a car on the road unless you're an essential worker at a hospital or something, right?
Right.
So they saw a car way down there, so they decided to go and pursue that car. And that car eventually took off and went really fast down streets, but it was so far that they don't call it a pursuit.
Right.
This guy was trying to evade them anyway, but it was, this guy probably saw police were coming, right?
Right.
And he made a right turn, left turn, right turn, left turn, and just kind of zigzagged all around. And then he ended up going into a cul-de-sac. And then came out of the cul-de-sac and then got caught by the police.
So what did they try and steal from you?
Blind boxes.
Wow.
Blind box toys. Well, they when we did the math, they took about, I think we calculated about $550 worth of blind box toys. Retail.
Right now.
That was the math, because we were counting exactly what was taken. And it's funny because when they were pulled over, basically they asked me what was taken, and I said, it's these small toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they right away then sent me a cell phone photo.
Oh.
Or didn't send to me. They showed it to me and goes, well, it was like this. And I was like, exactly, that's my stuff. Like, that's what got taken.
Right.
And this person had other things too that they probably stole from maybe other businesses.
Right.
Because I saw, like, on the edge of, there was a bunch of toys, and then I see other stuff that's not mine.
Mm.
So I had a feeling that they stole other stuff too.
Wow.
From other places. Anyway, so they were caught. That's the whole point. And they had to go through they're now in the justice system, for better or worse.
Wow.
Yeah, and they went to jail for, I think, maybe 36 hours or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was about it.
But still, like, wow.
Yeah, it was, that's looting, but gosh, it's more like a burglary or something,
Right. No, it wasn't like
It wasn't like they, you know what? I thought they broke my window, and I'm not sure how they did everything. If he rattled it, there was a lot of noise on my security camera.
Right.
it was abnormal, and I thought they were breaking in. That's the sound I heard. Like sounded very loud, and
They probably
but
tried to like bust through the or like squeeze through or push away the
there's a
wood.
meta. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they exactly did, but it was a loud noise and all that stuff, and basically that was about it. So it's on the police report. It does say looting, so it is considered looting. I just don't know. To me, it seems like a burglary. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's as minor as can be in the big scheme of things, but
Mhm.
it is what it is. I didn't want to, I
Wow.
don't know, man. They were caught. That was the bottom line.
Oh, I mean, I'm glad that
Yeah.
you had a system where you could be able to check on your
Oh,
store in real
everything's like that
time.
though. But everything's like that, isn't it? Like most everyone has a
Are they?
or
Do they?
Nest or Nest camera or something that
Uh,
sends you a text message alert, and you're like, oh, there's somebody there, right?
maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't own a, brick and mortar
Oh,
business,
yeah,
so
but don't if you had a Ring doorbell pointed into your garage, and all of a sudden you get an alert on your cell phone because it sends you a text message because it can do that.
mhm.
That there's a noise or there's some movement, you'll be like, oh shit, how can there be movement inside of my garage? That means you got rats or somebody's in there stealing the Gundam models.
I should do that.
You
I
know what I'm saying?
really should do that,
And it's
especially
just a
since
camera.
at
It's a
least I
camera that would run, but it serves almost as an alarm, right? That's kind of the idea, is that you have it pointed, let's say, at a place that a thief may go to.
mhm,
And if you get a notification, you know something's down, because otherwise there should be no movement, no sound,
right,
unless something falls or something, right? You should get nothing unless there's light that gets in there and creates a new shadow or something, right?
right.
Otherwise, no, that's good. The good thing about cameras and being boarded up is the fact that, I was like, oh, I'm boarded up, meaning my camera should not be picking up anything except for sound. But
Right.
then this thing had sound and movement, and I was like, oh shit, something's going wrong. Like, as soon as I looked at it, I was like, what can be going on? Because I'm
Mhm,
boarded up.
mhm.
And then sure enough, there was a dude reaching in, grabbing shit from the window.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blind
Yeah.
boxes. Blind
Blind
boxes.
boxes. Yeah, yeah. It
Wow.
was, but it's like in the end,
What you mind if I
it's,
ask what
yeah.
like toy it was? What blind box it was?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Toki Doki.
Oh, the toaster.
Well, it was maybe 5 or 6 different kinds, but a lot of it, I think half were
Well, why are
Tokidoki.
they arranged so closely to that window? Because I think I know which window you're talking
It's a
about.
side window, and if I choose not to put anything there, then I just lose a lot of counter space.
Okay.
And plus, this dude used a stick to like reach in and grab more stuff to drag it toward, to get it closer. Like this
Oh,
person was using tools, right? So
no.
yeah. And then the funniest part was the the police officer, an Asian police officer. Uh, he said, so like I'm like, oh man, the cops did a good job, and they were really nice. They
Yeah,
were incredibly thorough.
right.
There was like 2 Asian cops and 3 non-Asian cops, like those 2 different police cars, right?
Wow.
And I mean, they were probably happy to catch somebody because our area was not like looting was not a big thing in my opinion.
Right.
Although things happen, like Best Buy, something happened at Best Buy, and there are things happening, but a little bit further away.
Right.
But I think in the small retail Sawtell merchant area, I think they're maybe happy to have caught somebody doing something wrong, right?
Right. Right. Right.
But so ultimately, in the end, man, the one Asian cop he goes, he showed me the picture, and then I was like, that's all the stuff. This is what was taken. And he goes, figures, man, that guy looked like a nerdy dude or something like that. He goes, yeah, figures he would like this stuff. He looks like a nerdy dude. Yeah. That's kind of the funny thing is like, I'm like, dude, this is the stuff I like, And he's basically, I was like, oh, Asian guy, basically like, I was like, come on, man. You went from being an all right guy to now I'm like, you dick.
Yeah, no, just basically kind of saying like, only freaking nerds would like collect this shit. So
yeah, he judged just like that. I was like, you fucking asshole.
well,
Anyway.
this goes to show that there are some bad nerds out there.
And guess what the ethnicity of this person is,
Caucasian,
or
Asian,
race, I guess.
Caucasian.
Asian.
No. Oh.
Well, maybe half, but I mean, he looks Asian.
Oh.
Yeah, so Asian on Asian crime, looting. Isn't that
Oh,
crazy?
that is total sad. That
Yeah,
is so sad. Oh
very
well,
sad. Yeah.
whatever. It's he probably thought like he was probably just cruising down the street and saw that your side window hadn't been boarded, and like knew that like you could, like you could get it's your store is like literally in the middle of that block. So that gives you like a little bit of a window of opportunity to be able to like spot like cops from either side. So
Do you want to hear something else? I mean, we're talking a lot about this thing, but I guess
this
it's
is
kind of
great.
funny. Is it great? Okay.
This is great.
Okay, this is podcast material because I haven't really talked about it. I haven't talked
you
about
never
it.
I saw you like twice and like you
Okay.
never even mentioned it once.
I kind of just put it away. But so this person also spent, I think we counted something like 10 minutes at the window. So like if you're gonna steal something, you're in and out, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right? This person took 10 minutes. Like I'm watching the video, and just so you know too, I can talk into the video and they could hear it. So after I called the police, I'm talking the video going, "Hey dude, they're coming. You should just leave." I kept saying, "You should just leave. They're coming." I never cussed at them or anything.
Right.
I was just like saying, "Hey man, they're coming." Like I was like, I just kept saying it.
You better go. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they didn't, and they stayed there grabbing more and more shit.
Oh.
And then this person though even closed the window nicely. I was like, wow, like that alone might have been the time that they needed to get away.
Zero
like that
property damage, man. That is pretty great.
Yeah, in the end, it was zero property damage, but they, but I think by closing the window, that might have increased, like 5 seconds of time.
Right.
That car would have been further away, even 5 more seconds further. 5 seconds, you can go kind of far, but all right.
Oh, was he by himself?
From what I understand, yes. But so my cousin lives 5 blocks or 6 blocks from the shop, and we were playing video games together. Like we're on our team, man.
Right,
We battle. We battle together.
Nice.
4-person team. So
Nice.
he went there and got there before I did, and he said when he pulled up, another car had taken off. Maybe so, like his headlights, like he came down up Sawtell northbound. He said there was a car pointing northbound. As soon as he started coming up, he saw a car going northbound. But the person they caught went southbound, so there was maybe a second car. And he told the police that there was another car that went the opposite way.
Well,
but they didn't catch that person. They only caught the one going southbound.
well, here's the question: is I guess I'm like, I want to ask like, was there any more merchandise that was like missing?
For me?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, we were watching the camera, so you can kind of see what they were taking.
Mhm.
Like I can see it on the camera, so I know like what they didn't grab. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't grab shirts, they didn't grab all these other things. They just grabbed that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I figured that you kind of like went unscathed. I thought Sawtell was just like a quiet oasis, throughout that entire
So
like.
we didn't have protesting, so I think some people mistaken it. Where if I said, I think because I remember the council member, right, Mike Bonden, the council member he actually had his assistant call me and said, hey, we have stepped up security for your area, police wise, like for looting. They said, hey, tell the other merchants. So I don't have a way. We don't talk to each other. So I put it on Twitter. Is that what I did? And I had so much negativity, like negative, like hate, saying, oh, I'm totally like pro police, like hurting protesters and stuff, right? And it was like I got a few like things like that, and I was like, I just better delete it. So I did, but it was like, yeah, I was getting a lot of that, and I'm like, do you realize we don't have protesters on Sawtell? I'm not there to explain all that, but I mean, police aren't here to protect or hurt protesters. They're there literally to protect merchants, and you should have saw that the merchants that were like smaller Asian, maybe immigrant shop owners,
Right.
they were kind of freaked out. Like they were more panicked.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, they were very worried, and I saw the worry on their face, and I was, I'm like, oh man, for them to know that there's stepped up security in the area was very helpful. But yeah, for those that think that police are going to come to beat up protesters on Sawtell was they were completely off base. But I had that hate, I guess you would say.
Something kind of similar happened to me. Where, Jamie from Japan, LA.
Oh my God. I watched that shit real time on TV.
Yeah, I saw the video of it on on the news too. And
No, I watch it real time. I'm like, okay, they're next door. Oh no, then I just see it happening.
And Jamie posted some video from the inside.
And I saw that video.
I basically I posted like 2 simple sentences. I posted, "This sucks. This fucking sucks." And the response to my like finding, looting to be disagreeable was like crazy. I was shocked by how it's a fucking small business. It's a small business owned by a woman of Latin American descent.
Yep.
And I'm because I find it disagreeable, I am now anti-BLM. Fuck you. Fuck you.
So it's just that's what I'm saying. It's like if I posted, oh, I had a looter and that looter was caught, I mean, I would have been skewered on social media for no reason, right? So I was just like, you know what? This person got caught. They're actually they had prior drug arrests. They got strip searched. They're going through the justice system. They had a $50,000 bail, that they didn't have to pay for, right? They got ROR'd.
Yeah.
But they've got to deal with the justice system. They have a trial in
what does
September.
ROR mean again?
Released on own recognizance.
Right.
Basically, they didn't have to pay anything. They just had to stay in longer by 36 hours. But nonetheless, it's like, I was just like, you know what? People are going to get the wrong idea. If I post that, it's the wrong, even though I'm a victim, right? Technically, I'm a victim.
Yeah, you are a victim. And, I was basically kind of saying it to myself, look, loot the Target, loot the Best Buy, loot the big box stores all day long. Go for it, but leave the mom and pops.
They're not. They didn't.
Of course they don't. Of course,
no, it was kind of relentless.
And it I don't know. It's I don't know. I get it, but I think it's also misguided.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, but some of those are folks that were doing the looting are obviously they're now getting caught via social media using their phones that pinged and all this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're finding more and more people like the folks that burned down the sushi place in Santa Monica. They're caught and they're gonna get in so much trouble.
Oh my, really? Is that what's happening?
They're going
they're going cell
backwards.
Phones are
evidently
congregating in around this area here at this time.
They're using I don't know or something, and they're using social media. They're using a lot of electronics that probably we wish we weren't being tracked or something, and they're getting people.
We get,
but they're getting people.
I think most people have 10 apps running at all times.
Yeah.
In the background.
I don't know how rad the Santa Monica police, went in to try to find them, or was it just sheer luck, or was it just bragging on social media that busted people? But or was it anonymous tips? But they are going backwards and are starting to catch people that were looting and breaking into places. I think the person that broke into Patagonia, they got caught. All of them are getting caught.
Wow.
Not all of them, but many are being caught.
Right.
So yeah, it's and some of them are going to get really fucked. Like the ones who burned down the place in Santa Monica. Those, I was reading that they're probably going to get 20 years in prison for that.
Jesus.
So even 1 year is bad, right? But I think they may get a bunch.
Yeah.
They're going to be made examples of also, right? Which is awful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The person that technically looted my shop. It says looting, and I'm not sure how harsh of a judgment will happen on them because of the word looting is on there instead of burglary.
Right. Would looting go easier than burglary?
I think it's going to end up being harder. Maybe it's just
Really?
Burglary's a slap on the wrist, right? That's like stealing a pack of gum. It's minor.
No, burglary's premeditated, and looting could be just
Nah, dude, I got my house burglarized, and those motherfuckers, they didn't go to jail, man. They just got caught. They just catch and release.
Oh,
right?
they got caught. They. I remember when that happened years ago.
They all of them get caught eventually, and they just get released, and then they're out the same day. But I think looting may have a worse. We'll see. The word looting might be really bad in this case.
Wow.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling if you're caught,
So
that's my opinion, but I don't know. Like, man, if it came down to it, I probably wouldn't even. I'd probably leave this person alone. I'd just say, dude, just drop it, whatever. Like
Right,
it was
right.
such a minor thing for me.
Right.
I would do that. Like I have people are saying I have way too much sympathy for this person, and they're like, fuck them, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Depends on the situation. It depends on the situation, right? Like if they're repeat offenders, then like that's one thing. But if like
Yeah.
they're just like being stupid, then
I assume so. I think that's
hopefully
kinda
they
what I'm
learn from their
thinking.
stupidity. But
I hope so. I don't know.
but
That's what I'm saying.
you had like a couple artists like get up on your wall on your like barricades.
So I had Eric Martinez paint a Black Lives Matter mural. So the day I boarded up, I think I contacted Eric Martinez to do one at Giant Robot store, and right away he agreed. He's like, I'll
Wait,
be
who is
here
Eric
tomorrow.
Martinez?
Eric Martinez does kind of like retro style illustration art, like looks sort of like 70s or 60s maybe.
Oh, cool.
And he did in his, I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like that. I don't know how to really explain the style, but it was a kind of a retro style illustration, 60s maybe, and cartoony looking, and almost like cereal box characters in a way, but from the 60s, sort of like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, that Rocky Bullwinkle kind of vibe. Maybe.
Right, really flat, kind of
very
geometric-y, like.
But also like maybe outside of that too, and he does people, not just animals, but did a Black Lives Matter mural. Then Cassia came a day later and painted like the names of a lot of people that were killed, black folks who were killed. So there's like this long list of names on the right side.
Oh, cool.
And then James Jean did paste up type of mural, I guess you would say, at GR2.
Nice.
And that was ended up getting sold.
Wow, you sold it.
The James Jean one, yeah.
Nice.
Got that Black Lives Matters money. Yeah, Black Lives Matter money right here. No, the money got donated to like 4 different places. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money, but it was all donated by the buyer. Like they donated to 4 different small orgs. Oh, one big org. Black Lives Matter was one of the orgs. But yeah, I didn't keep the money. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but nonetheless, no, it was sold, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, it is James Jean.
Yeah. Hey. But of course, right?
Right. Like it's James, Jean, and it's
James
a
fucking
huge,
Jean.
It's James fucking Jean, and it's a huge one. So
but it's still like a wheat paste, but nonetheless, it does look nice.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it looked. I remember like seeing the photos of it, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I went by while it was still up and saw it, and I was like, oh, there's more to it than just flowers and lion.
Yeah, James. Yeah, James. There's more to your work than flowers and lion. James Jean. Flowers and line artist.
But
there's a little more to it though. But this one's has a little more to it than that.
Yeah,
though.
well, I mean,
but just imagine though.
Sorry, James. I'm not trying to diss. I'm not trying.
I am. No, but it's like kind of an honor, right, to be able to have like two spots and then be able to put up 2, I'd say, pretty important murals. I mean, for this, like. They're not permanent. They're not like on concrete walls. They're on wood that's very temporary. And to have 2 people just come out and do that the next day, it was kind of amazing.
Right. Yeah.
As it boarded up the next day, they were out there, and it was still like the freaky pandemic / like are the police going to come arrest me because it's like exactly curfew, 6 p.m. curfew, and it's one of those things. Are they going to arrest us because we're out here and it's 6:30? And it's like no. Ultimately, no. All that was like almost honor system, but it's still like you didn't know, right? It's like, are we gonna get in trouble for standing out here? But no.
No.
You just didn't know though. Like cops were being knuckleheads a little bit. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, get the fuck off the street.
Right.
Ultimately, but I don't know.
I guess it depends. I mean, like I hate to say it because this in kind of complements or reinforces the kind of racial issues that that all of this is about, and that is that, I mean, if you were, say, African American or Latino, the police will probably give you grief for that. Meanwhile, since we are members of the model minority,
But we are the ones that created COVID. So there.
It's true. It's
It's
true.
because of us.
It's because of us all this shit is
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
So
and the police will spit on us too, for that matter.
Well,
I
so
don't know.
this has been going on now since March.
Yeah, like middle of March, right?
Middle of March, and it's July. 4 months have have passed by. But how has this impacted you as a gallery owner?
That's a great question. I mean, we're going to ask you the same one back. How has it impacted you as an artist?
Right.
So, I guess as a gallery owner, the one problem is you have rent, right? And you may have employees, and those are problematic, I guess. If you're not open, or if you are open and not making any money, it's kind of the same thing. That's the hard part, is that fact that you have to still pay your rent, and if you have employees working, you still have to pay your employees. Yeah. So, ultimately,
you took advantage of a lot of the
like everybody else, I got the PPP loan. Technically, it's a loan, so I did get that. I would assume almost everybody got it, but nobody really talks about it. That's the weird thing. Like, I'm sure every person who has a shop got it, but I don't hear anyone talking about it. It's more like, it's almost like the secret, but yeah, I got it and I used it, and that really is to pay employees, right? That's basically made for payroll. It is built for payroll. So, but if you're closed during a pandemic, what do? I mean, you have money, you have a time limit, you need to pay your employees, but if you're closed, what are you doing, right?
Sure.
So it's really a stimulus. Like, they're using you as a shop owner to pay employees to keep them working, even if they're not working, and even if you're closed, right? So that's the idea, is that it's you passing money to the next people. It's not like I'm keeping it.
Right.
My job is to spend it. If I don't spend it, I have to give it all back.
Right.
Right. That's the whole thing. So the whole thing is pass it on to your employees. That's the key, what it really was made for. So it kind of feels weird, like, that you get this money. It's like, holy shit, I got this money. But no, it's meant for you to distribute. We are all like basically distribution methods we're distribution methods for the government, or SBA or whatever it is, Small Business Administration. Our jobs were to get money into the hands of the working people that we are employing. Right?
Are the loans forgivable, or are they?
That one is. If you used it correctly. Some people frauded. Some people probably fucked up and gave themselves raises. So, fuck it, I'm going to give myself a raise.
Right.
You won't get that forgiven. But if you did it right and fairly, yeah, you should be able to get it forgiven. Like I said, it was a stimulus check for people who are working or under your payroll. So that was the idea.
Would Giant Robot have been able to hold on to its employees without it?
No. No, absolutely not. You can't. No way. No, for two. That was basically 2 months, 8 weeks worth, and it's like, no. We weren't even open. The doors weren't even open, or not. There's no business coming in that way. So they would have just been polishing that front counter until that shit was smooth. Literally, that there was like nothing they would be able to do. So no, it was meant to share.
Right.
And that's what I did.
And well, like, are you like, was artwork selling? Was merchandise selling?
Yeah. That's the weirdest part is, so yeah, we sell artwork, we sell merchandise, and the idea is, I mean, there's some merchandise that sells in the store when we're open, and that stuff might not sell online, right? It's just a different way to go. Some things work online, some things work in store. Like, I kind of know what those things are, and it became more and more evident. I'm like, whoa, we're not selling very many of these things because we're closed, but we are selling those things because we're open. Just
you're online
things.
Open, right?
Yeah,
right.
Online open. And so you kind of realize, okay, well, there's certain things that I'm just not going to do well with. Like if I ordered 25 of the new comic, some book, I'm not really a great book outlet, so I'm not going to sell a lot of books. I might sell 3, but I won't sell 25. But if I were open, I might sell 25, to like passerbys and shit.
Sure.
It's just, I'm not the place for that. So I think that's kind of how, you kind of have to know what your audience is and what you can sell online and what won't work.
So,
and there's and some of it's my own ego. I'm like, fuck, this thing's cool. I want some of these. And I know full well that I'm not going to sell it online. I still order it like an idiot. So,
well, okay. So
I've done that.
is distribution like outlets or still
Everybody's
open?
Everybody's open and everybody's probably hurting.
Well, so you're able to like restock your stores pretty
but
easily.
I don't think a lot of people are doing that right now. I have a feeling a lot of people are sort of holding off and being careful, because I talked to a book rep who does a lot of art books, and that guy goes, it's hard selling books right now. Like he's a salesperson, so he sells books out of but he represents a bunch of publishers, and he wants me to order a shit ton of books from him, but I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going to order anything from you, bro.
Wait.
It's why would I stock up and buy $5,000 worth of books wholesale from this dude? It's just because I don't think I can sell 1/8 of those,
Well, I mean, like whenever
under normal circumstances, maybe I can, but
like whenever I go to either the gallery or the store, the one thing I will usually walk out with is books. So I often think of Giant Robot as like art books.
You're one of the few that does that. There's some, but I'm saying is, like, for example, okay, James Jean book, for example.
Sure.
I haven't sold a lot of those. Like, they haven't been selling like hotcakes, I sold some, but not, as many as normal. I would have sold more in the store.
So what are
if I
people
were
buying?
Just like some Giant Robot t-shirts. I think it's things that maybe we make or made, right? Something something that you can't buy on Amazon or Old Navy or some shit like that. It's the Giant Robot shirts, yeah. It's just things that you can't get elsewhere. But if it's a book that you could buy at 100 different places online, well, I might not be the first choice.
So it's all about the exclusive items that are
maybe, yeah. But that makes sense, right? That's like of course it is, right?
Sure.
Yeah, because if you could buy it off, some people are still more loyal to Amazon, and they'll go, oh, I could get this book $10 cheaper on Amazon. They're gonna do it.
I'm guilty of that.
And look at Jeff Bezos now.
Yeah,
he's just balling.
Dude, he's
made like billions of dollars just in the last like month. He's made even more money. There you go. And he's probably still hasn't paid taxes.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, he probably pays personal tax, but like,
does he? I don't know.
But like but his business doesn't pay shit. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But I guess that's how it works. So wait, shout out. There's David Horvath, RJ Quiralta, Darren Inoue from Georgico.
Oh, nice.
Sean Hanaway, and I don't know who else, but I don't know the dude from France, or the person from France. I'm sorry,
France. People love France.
And Darren did ask, did you get as much as you asked for PPP wise? And he said we got half. I guess his school.
So, yeah, cool.
I got everything I asked for. I don't know why I would. I mean, it seems like if you got half, I would assume that meant something weird happened on your application. Because it seems like everyone would have just got what they asked for. I mean, not what you asked for, but what mathematically you were allowed to get.
Right.
Because I didn't ask for it. There was a math equation, and I got the math equation, and you had to prove it, like show, your last year's your payroll statements from last year, all this kind of shit. Right. You got to kind of prove it. So, and if you don't prove it now, you got to prove it later to get it forgiven, supposedly. But tens of millions of people are going to be doing it at the same time. How are they going to be able to do that?
Right.
I think they're just going to go, okay, pass.
It's like, all right. It's worth. Yeah, this is worth investigating. This isn't right.
Oh, this one was a $10 million loan that went to Kula Sushi. We're gonna, like literally, they supposedly got one, but like this one went to Fat Burger, the chain. I don't know.
I love Fat Burger. So.
I know. That's why I said that. But it's just it was an interesting thing. But then just keep in mind for businesses, it's over. That's done.
Yeah.
Like your money ran out. That unemployment extra money, whatever it's called, is also running out this week.
Mhm.
Everyone's going to be on their own maybe
Yeah.
in August and September, and that's when we're really going to see.
The floaters and the sinkers.
Yeah, it's going to be scary, possibly if nothing else happens. And there maybe there's going to be another stimulus of the $1,200, but I don't think that's going to help enough. Yeah. How's it been as an artist?
Well, okay, so this year I was supposed to have my one. I usually have like one big solo show.
A giant robot, yes.
Yeah, well, that's coming up. But like I
Yes.
I was supposed to have I usually
Awesome.
schedule like a year or two ahead, like, my
Where you
solo
make
shows.
serious badass paintings.
Yeah, where I
I
really
know.
like work on it, and I will, and this year it was supposed to be in Manila with Secret Fresh Gallery. And you know, COVID happened, coronavirus happened, the pandemic happened,
Dude,
and
it must be rampant in Philippines. We don't even hear about it.
we don't. We're
Like, is that
too probably.
I mean, have you seen that favela looking area of the Philippines that looks like favela, like it looks pretty poor?
Oh yeah.
That is
yeah,
that is like multi-generational housing with no doors and shit.
right.
Like you could right?
Yeah. Oh, it's
That
like
that is
that's
that's
what
got to be a that's a wildfire of COVID.
everyone whom I've spoken to who lives out there basically saying, "Oh, we are dreading the day the coronavirus hits those areas."
It must
And
have happened. No,
I have no idea. I haven't like really spoken to anyone out there like since like
yeah.
March or April, because around March or April I was, because my show was originally supposed to be in March.
Oh
Then we
wow.
pushed it back to June,
Oh, you
and
should have just did
then
it in March.
I'm kind of glad it didn't. I mean, like
Oh,
I'm
you
kind of
might that
glad
might you might have been the last one. This got your
got a show in, but
yeah, like a real one with like
yeah, well,
I don't know.
I don't know I don't know how ready I could have been,
Yeah,
by then.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so that show just collapsed, which means, about half of my annual income just,
Oh shit.
disappeared. Assuming that I sold, as well as I did like the first time, it would, probably have been
You
half of my
probably would have sold a bunch.
right.
Uh,
And
I'll put it out there. You make some sales, man.
I sell a little bit here and there,
Yeah, you do that.
but so after like, I started seeing it happening like a mile away, and I started,
Yeah.
like preparing for like, okay, what am I going to do? And I started agreeing to like, I Corey Helford had one of their artists dropped out of like a 3-person show in one of their like 3 galleries, and so I jumped in on that. I took a bunch of group shows at some galleries that I'd never even been to, just to like get stuff out there. And then I talked to you about doing a drawing show at Giant
Yes.
Robot 2 this August, at the end of August. So
Yes. August
um
29th.
August 29th, I'm working on
Yeah.
it now. And
I'm honored.
then like it also kind of lit the fire under my ass to open up my online store, which had been
Yeah.
sitting dormant for 3 years. And so, and fortunately, people are still buying my stuff. People
Of
are,
course they will.
and like when it comes to artwork, I've been playing it really safe, like doing smaller pieces, doing um stuff under like the $5,000,
Is that all?
range. So,
Well, shit, that's pretty good.
well,
I've been doing $4,000 pieces and just selling them like
no, no,
water,
no, 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 no,
like
no.
water.
It hasn't been like that. It hasn't been
Oh,
like that. It could be. I mean, like, yeah,
no,
under like it's
I got you.
the prices are much more like humble. At least I consider them more humble.
Yeah.
So,
This
uh,
is just it's obvious to say it's just a weird time. So you've got to experiment, try different things that work for you,
or you just got to
to make it.
do what works for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. This, there's that well. This is the time to go to that well.
well,
Because if you're gonna do paintings of moon landings and all this kind of stuff that's a little edgier that people are like, oh, that's a weird Luke piece. You do it then. Cool. That was last year.
Yep.
But no, now it's
Nope.
time. There's that well. That well that you've saved up that
Yep.
you were just like, I'm not doing this for LA right now. No. That well is built up. Now it's time to go to that well.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the bear's been waiting.
Yep.
The bear is coming out.
It is all bears all day long.
I think if David's listening, I don't even know if he's listening anymore. Don't bring out the new characters.
Nope.
Bring out Babbo and Wage.
Yep.
This is
Babbo and Wage
if it's
all
Ugly
day
Doll.
long.
If it's Ugly Doll, it's Babbo and Wage right now, and Ice Bat. Don't
Right.
forget Ice Bat.
Yep.
But not some of these new guys.
Nope.
No.
Unless it's really unless it's super cute. Unless
Yeah.
it's people
Yeah.
look at it and they're like, "That's me," But
Oh my gosh.
I've been playing it safe.
Yeah.
I've been I've had tons of stuff accumulated over years, years of toys that have accumulated that I just throw in storage, and too lazy to sell. And I started busting him out, and I hired my sister to help me with the
Oh, good.
shipping and
Good,
stuff.
good.
So
I can't see you being good at shipping for some reason. I do it. I do it, and I've shipped a lot of stuff since March.
Yeah.
But I can't picture you doing it very well, to
Dude,
be dead honest.
People hate me. People who order stuff off store generally hate me, because I will sit there and I'll be a month will pass.
Oh,
two
So-
months will pass.
But just so you know, right now, in general, for anyone who's listening that does their own stuff, shipping has been bad.
Right.
A lot of packages have gone missing, more than normal by far. There's, at this given moment, I don't know how many packages of things that we shipped are now missing.
Well,
So make sure you insure things if it has value. Make sure you put that insurance on there, and
right.
hope for the best. But no, UPS stuff, USPS, it's literally goes out, and sometimes it's untrackable, missing.
Really?
So, yep, it's happened. It's not like it's been delivered and it's missing. It's tracking wise, it never went anywhere. It's, it says in LA, and it's a month later, it's still here. It didn't make it to its destination,
Right.
because it has tracking and stuff. And yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, shipping's been a nightmare, and I've heard that from others too, that shipping's been a mess. So,
Well,
but there is that.
I've lived in that part of town a couple of years ago, and I remember even when I lived there, packages would just never show up, or
Yeah.
disappear at
But it's
distribution
happening.
centers. But
Yeah.
LA is terrible when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And also though, I think it's the whole country. I think it's going anywhere. Sometimes it does get to the destination city, and it doesn't make it to the address. The tracking ends there, and you can't do much about it.
Right.
But that's why you insure things.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
So keep that in mind.
I want to ask you a quick podcasting question.
Sure.
When you with your headphones, can you hear both your voice and my voice, or
No, I just hear your voice.
isn't that annoying?
Kind of.
That's
Yeah.
why throughout this podcast I've been taking one ear off, just
I see.
because I need to hear something,
Yeah.
because Zoom, work on it. But at least everyone's a lot of people are staying afloat. I'm also I acknowledge the fact that I'm also lucky in the sense that I've Giant Robot is kind of what it's almost an institution in Los Angeles when it comes to the art gallery scenes in Los Angeles. And you've worked with so many a variety of different artists from a variety of different levels of career levels,
Right.
and and I think that I can't even imagine what it would be to be a new artist
In this
right,
situation.
in this situation.
Especially if you have made a choice. Hey, I'm not going to work or
Yeah.
get a job, and
I'm
I'm
going to take the plunge, right?
And you did this in January. and here it is, and you're just like, fuck, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Where
absolutely.
there's less jobs and all this kind of shit, but then you're now trying to make it as an artist. Oh, that's a difficult idea. You
It
know
would
what I
have been
mean?
rough. That would have been
Yeah.
really, really rough.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that crazy? Just to think of
it's
that, it's like, oh,
I don't even want to imagine it. It'd be just too depressing.
and then
Yeah.
just imagine too that this, it's needless to say, this can go on for another year, just like how we're
Oh,
going,
easily.
right? Right?
Easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it can.
I see
So
this going, like, I don't think I'm willing to put bets down right now that, like, San Diego Comic-Con is not coming back next year.
what about the Olympics in Japan? There was an article about it that's saying that it might not even happen next year, as Gerald said.
I believe it. It's
Yeah,
a
it's possible.
very, very strong possibility.
Yeah.
Just
So it's a really tough thing, but it's like if you would have asked me a year ago, am I down to struggle and be in this situation, and just if you describe the situation that we are in now, that I would have to do this just like this for another year, I'd be like, fuck this, but
Mhm.
I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
But
like, what
but
else
it's
are
one
you
of those
gonna
things.
what else are you gonna do, right? Like, what would you do right now? Like,
I'd close down and just hang out at home. I don't know. It's like, like, what I'm saying? Like that, I'd do that. I'm not, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's not ideal, but it would be like, this is if you're, if you want to take an early retirement ever, this is the time if you can do it. But,
right.
like, because as a business owner, I've got 2 locations, and if this is going to be like, am I going to be crawling to my death versus like standing up at home and just sitting around and eating, fried rice? You know what I'm saying?
I guess the question is it shrimp fried rice or is it just egg fried rice?
Oh, egg, for sure, egg. But you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things that it's possible that you can drag yourself in a bad situation in 1 year, you know what I mean? And then, or you can nip in the bud now, right? It's a business decision that a lot of shop owners may have to make. It's like, wow, I'm going to go into debt $100,000 if I, ride this out for 6 more months,
Right.
or, do
Speaking
I
of
not do that? Do I not do that?
Speaking of businesses that have like ate dust because of all of this, the cafe that both you and I would frequent, you know,
So that's a little different.
oh,
I mean, he's not open either. He does coffee and it's to go. It's difficult. His lease is expiring.
yeah, that's Balcony Coffee on
Yeah, balcony coffee, but his lease is expiring, and that landlord is a bad landlord. Like, it's undoubtedly true. So this was an opportunity for him maybe to get out instead of like, sign a 5-year lease. Starting well, and starting 5 years in August, in the situation. It's just a bad, I think that was a good business decision for him to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was
see.
wondering about that because I saw the post that he did.
But I mean, it's COVID related. He's like, well, if it were all going as well as it was a year ago, he probably would have signed up for 5 more years. But
Right.
he has a chance to get out, and maybe that's the right decision. Like,
Mm,
why? Again, he might be struggling for 6 months and putting himself into big debt rather than, just watching it all pass by and being okay. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Not quite okay, but you know what I'm saying. It's like he won't be a huge amount of debt, behind him.
I mean, you're friends with the guy, right? So,
Oh yeah,
like, have you talked to him about like what his plans are?
no.
No. There's just some
But
lines you just don't cross.
no, but I did offer him to do a pop up at GR2, our gallery.
Oh, nice.
Like, meaning, you tell me when, go ahead and do it. You can serve coffee, whatever, right inside or outside or whatever you want to do. And I've got benches and chairs. People can sit outside and drink coffee.
You could do it in the back. You could do it in the parking lot of the back parking lot of your back of your store. And it's a great location because there's constantly shade back there because it is a
in the
north
evening, right?
facing
It's
wall.
hot during the daytime, but it's all good, man. He can do that if he wants. So I offered that. I said, go ahead if you want to do it. And he's starting to talk about it. Like, at first he was like, I don't know about that. Then he talked to me about it the other day and started spewing some ideas. And I was like, there you go. You're at least thinking.
Nice.
Yeah, he lives in the area. No, Ray's his name. He lives in the area. So
Right.
I offered it as a, just do it, man.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I like his
Yeah.
coffee. He turned me on to whatchamacallit, to Verve coffee, which is
Yeah.
kind
He
of
was
where I,
serving
back in the
good
day,
coffee. Very good. Very
so
good coffee.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
it's difficult times,
And
difficult
we'll have
times.
I think we'll have Gerald on at some point again, right? We can do a COVID update.
Dude, I have been. We talked about having him on, like,
Oh, he's ready anytime.
because
Weekdays.
I've
So.
been building up a list of questions.
Oh, good, 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 good. Yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's two major ones that I could just see him like getting into, like, for a little while. But yeah, I would love to get an update from him
Yeah.
on
So we'll do
concerning the
that. Maybe
situation.
we'll do that next, like as soon as next week or something.
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
think he'd
Yeah,
be down. Yeah.
let's get
Because
the podcast back, and
I think I had
car.
yeah, I had messages from like Albert Reyes, a listener, right, artist and listener, and
Yeah,
he was like, "What are you
and
doing? What
friend of the
happened?
podcast.
And what
Yes, yeah,
happened? Where's the next episode? What's happening?"
yeah. Well,
I'm honored.
I'm glad. Yeah, I saw. I got messaged from him too about it, and I'm
Yeah,
glad. And it made me happy to know that people out there were like,
yeah,
you know,
and I think Yosuke mentioned it. And Yosuke actually painted a mural here in L.A.
oh
He
really?
got a mural. He got a mural job. You didn't see it. It's in Vernon technically, but a big ass. It's a big mural. He did.
Wow.
So he actually stayed at my house,
Mhm.
and I only saw him, I think twice, and he was here for 10 days.
Where's Vernon?
Vernon is south of downtown. It's an unincorporated area technically, and
Okay.
I don't think people live in Vernon necessarily. I think it's mostly warehouses.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's a cafe out there, and he painted the outside of this building.
Oh, that's
A
nice.
big, yeah. So
It
he
must have
got
been great. Like,
yeah, I
his
think,
murals are amazing.
yeah,
So
he got a good gig. It's huge, but yeah, it took him 10 days, and I had like again social distancing. I mean, he has a separate door, can come in,
mm-hmm.
stayed in an extra room, and
Yeah.
I only saw him like twice
Oh
in 10 days.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wait, so
We're taking that serious. He's from Arizona now, so
right,
he
right.
he's King COVID himself.
Yeah. It's like that this entire like southwestern quadrant is freaking, it's a mess right now.
Anything on the edges, right? Like Texas and Florida, all of.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine whom I'd love to have on the podcast as well. Actually, I should talk to him. My friend Leroy Myers. He is a director producer of fine adult entertainment, but
Okay.
but he lives in Las Vegas, and he was telling me that this, like, last night, that in Vegas, that, or is it a couple nights ago, anyway, they all bleed together, right? So but in Vegas it's like 50-50. You get a 50% chance of running into people wearing masks and 50% chance of people not wearing masks.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
which
like that here too. Go to Santa Monica Beach area. Yeah, there's a lot of people not wearing masks there, even in
really,
Santa Monica.
I haven't been out to the beach,
Oh yeah,
so
go to Manhattan Beach. No, hardly anyone's wearing a mask. Hermosa Beach, even worse. I mean, I did a drive-through and saw it all. Oh, Yosuke just said hello from Phoenix. So
oh
yeah,
hi Yosuke, how you doing, buddy?
we were talking about Yosuke's mural, and here he is. But yeah, you should check it out. It's technically on Alameda. If you just go south,
Okay.
is that the right street? Yeah, Alameda. Just go south, and you'll eventually. It's like the beginning of Vernon, I guess. I think Vernon's kind of long. It's the beginning of it. It's not that far off the, is it 10 freeway, and get off at Alameda. Instead of going left to Little Tokyo, you go right.
Oh, okay.
If
Okay.
if
For
you're
me,
coming
it
from
would
my
be going
direction.
left and not
Yeah,
even.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's you'd pass right by it. It's huge. Like
Wow.
you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. Wow. Okay.
But it's one of those things. During this situation, he gets a gig doing a mural. That's pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah,
That is great.
yeah,
Like, and obviously it's a paid gig, so it's great that there
yeah.
are businesses that are still spending money to, you know, like,
Do shit,
enhance their
right?
business, and
Yeah.
not with like literally like no like kind of end in sight right now. Like, we're all anticipating, we're all hoping by the winter, but like,
We're hoping for the magic vaccine
right.
that we could fuck off and do whatever we want now because a vaccine's coming. Who
Oh, yeah.
cares, right? That's kind of the attitude, and that's so American, right?
Oh, it is.
We'll
It
just do
is.
everything wrong because something's gonna save us. Ding, a little shot.
Yeah.
And it's like ever, So
Jesus.
that's the wrong way to go.
So
It's like not studying for a test and expecting a good grade or something, you know,
right.
or not painting anything for a show till the night before.
I could do this. I just a little black paint on white. Boom, I got it. But
Yeah,
no, that's
the night
it.
before.
Yeah, and still gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
But I've learned my lesson from. It took me years to learn that lesson, and I've now that lesson is ingrained into my being. I can't like unless it's like post-it notes. I can't do it. I can't fuck up with it. So with back to your business though, like, are you letting people into the galleries and to the stores?
By appointment only, I would do the gallery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so yeah, appointment only. I would, or I have.
Oh,
and yeah, little by little.
mm-hmm.
So it's just me doing it. And I would definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to see the art, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take the time to actually hang the shows too.
Oh, I've hung every show. Yeah, completely. And it's funny because some artist had said, "Well, I'm not going to send you the piece, and if it sells, I'll just send it." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to hang it." They're like, "What?" So then they actually sent it to me.
Yeah.
But some artists have that expectation that the show's not even really going to be hung. Because I think some other galleries are probably not hanging the work, right?
Right. Maybe
they're actually saying, "I think it's true," because I think that's kind of what's going on.
Right. Right.
I think there's some places aren't hanging the work and just you know.
Well, I
and
know
I'm like,
like
no.
Corey Helford, right? Like they actually they have a dedicated hanger, a person who like comes and hangs their shows.
They have unlimited resources, man.
Yeah, of course. You know, you got that
Shit.
freaking you got that TV money, but like
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Good for them.
they have their show. I know at least the last two shows that I've seen at their gallery.
Yeah.
It's all hung up, and
that's cool. Good for them.
I think that it's important. It's just respectful to the artist.
Fuck yeah, that's why I hang it. And I was doing it in the beginning. Some people are asking, like, "Are you gonna even hang it?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna hang it."
Yeah.
Even that Rakugaki show of sketchbook drawing stuff.
Right.
There was like 400 pieces I had to hang, and I hung it. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it." 400 pieces. I hung it.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
At least you don't have to use nails for that show. You could use pins.
I do.
What?
Oh, I mean, technically, I'm using a small brad, so it's a nail.
Right.
Yeah. If I realized if I use just hang it with tape, let's say in the back, it'll fall off. So no, I
definitely can't use tape. But you could use like thumbtacks. You could use.
Yeah, I could do that, but the nail's even easier at that point. So I hung it all.
Wow.
Even a show like that. So no, it's worth it, man.
Wow.
And I get to look at the art closely, and because I love it, and I like to then scrutinize stuff.
Yeah.
So I look closely at it. I'm like, why do they do this?
Like, where did they fuck up?
Anyway, yeah, it's all good, man.
Nice.
Yeah, but I've been seeing a lot of, artists do really good work at this time. I mean, maybe they have a little more time, or maybe there's, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of good work, which is interesting, and it's interesting how some artists really kind of are like they got more into social justice. I suppose they got more into social justice than I ever knew. I didn't know that they were into it at all, and I'm seeing some artists that, some of them are they're posting stuff every day still with their art, but there's a lot of like social justice with it, and I'm seeing that too because they're using their platform as an artist to do that, and I'm like, wow, it's impressive in a way because I'm like, oh, I hate to say it, like Black Lives Matter, like people's interest goes up, and then it kind of, I hate to say it, it will go down. It's just human nature.
It is, yeah.
As life catches up to you, you're kind of like, God, man, I can't, like I can't put that same effort in.
It's hard, especially if you are not directly affected by it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of artists that are, I guess you would say, are not directly affected because they're not black, but are posting stuff every day.
That's great.
And still doing their work, and still doing their work.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that's a really impressive. There's a bunch of artists that are doing that and still making art.
That brings up something that I think we've both crossed paths with, and that is this entire like black at so and so art school.
Oh shit! Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was something to talk about because the first one I saw was Black at SVA,
Right.
School of Visual
Visual
Arts in New
arts.
York, and yeah, no, it was just anonymously Black students, I guess, anonymously calling somebody out,
Yeah.
on like, and and there's no, proof. I guess it's just you have to trust their word that they're, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's sort of how it works. So,
Yeah.
because it's their place it's meant for a safe place, but it's a place
Yeah.
for a
To call people out on
a Black person to call people out on their racism and
right.
as a discussion point.
Yeah.
So yeah, then there was the one at Art Center.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and then
that one caught a little bit of fire.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I don't feel like I have anywhere to. I don't feel like there's anything I can say about that because I never went to Otis. I mean Art Center, and I never like. So I don't know like the ins and outs of an institution like that. But
yeah, I don't know about that. But there was some personal stuff that almost was not related to Art Center. I guess it's still related to Art Center, but yeah. Anyway,
or it has nothing. Like there was one posting that like didn't really even have anything to do with like the BLM movement or
what post was that?
I encourage everyone to go onto the Instagram page and
just
find
so
it for themselves.
Those posts that you're describing are gone.
Oh, are they?
It's deleted. Yeah.
Oh,
it's gone. From both sides of this.
See, I didn't pay that
the
much
posts
attention
are gone.
to it.
They're gone.
It's a pain in the ass when people like post 6 pages of small text on Instagram.
Yeah, you gotta have glasses.
Yeah, or a magnifying glass.
I can't see it too well without glasses. But yeah, the posts are now deleted. The ones that you may be talking about. The ones that some of our listeners probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Those posts are now gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it's like I wonder why they're gone. Like, was there a lawsuit threatened? There was some like parts of it that seemed sketchy. Is pizza coming?
My doorbell just rang. I gotta go check it. Hold on.
Pizza? Is it drive up? Oh wait, is that the door? Oh, anyway, I'm left alone now. So, anyways, yeah, there was a Instagram page, Black at Art Center. No, yeah, Black at ACCD. But. There's a few others, and I haven't looked at them lately, but I don't know. Those kind of devolved just a little bit. Maybe they went off message a bit, but nonetheless, no, they're still important. Hi there, Lucia Welch, and Darren. I got a ha from Darren. What do you know, my man? But yeah, I think the art world that at least is kind of local. Really looked at those postings.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, it's okay. I just talked a little more about those postings, but I mean just the fact that I think everyone we know probably
caught wind of it and took a look at it.
Oh, it was kind of hot. It was hot, little hot gossip for a minute.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
But I thought I think it's interesting that these sites are now available and are active and are kind of illuminating like the situation at these institutions.
And it depends too, because the one at from what I read, and I stopped reading these, but the one at School of Visual Arts, the actual like one of the persons being accused as a teacher, they came out and the teachers themselves even apologized.
Oh, that's good.
Like on the platform, right? But I mean, that's the one out there. And then anytime that there was somebody like chiming in saying, "Hey, I think this teacher was okay," and everything, they were overwhelmingly beat down by more postings saying, "This is not for you to say this. This is not the place for you to like defend the teacher or whatever, right? This is a place for us to speak about it." And it would be a non-Black person usually defending whoever it is. And then the blacks, many Black students perhaps were posting saying, no, this isn't for, this isn't the place for you to be doing this. You do that somewhere else. This is meant for Black voices. This is their space, right? Don't invade our space. But then the Art Center one was a little different. It got beat down from outside voices. It operated very differently, and they or whoever maybe runs that page ended up removing that post. Maybe it could have been at the request of the writer, but I don't know. I don't know much about what really happened, but it's just interesting that it's gone.
It was interesting in the sense that like they tried making some people anonymous while calling out other people by name.
Yes.
You know, but the people that were anonymous came out and like posted directly to the thing, and I was just like, like,
it was a tough thing. All sides were tough to read, you know. Anyway, we're talking nonsense because nobody. I mean, those that understand will, and those that don't are like, "What are you guys talking about?"
right.
Sorry.
This is not my position. I read it for entertainment, and I think that's about like, and I read specifically that post because all the other posts, like I said, I never went to Art Center. I have no idea what it's like out there. So
I don't either in the end.
And so I'm not going to like, I don't know who teaches there except for the people whom I'm friends with who teach there.
Yeah.
You know, so like, all
but
right.
But lots of people are being called out over there. So
yeah, and you know, I mean, like, look, the school has been there for how long now? Like,
I've no 60s since the 60s is my guess.
Since the 60s. Okay, so
50s?
It's been around like,
I don't know.
Like
50,
so that
60, 70 years, 60 years.
right.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I mean, if you've been around for that long, chances are you've had a fucking racist work in your work under your hallowed halls, you know. So
yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's like many. And then there's like, I think what that's bugging maybe a lot of the postings are about are like the ones that are, you know, not supposedly not racist, but then are doing racist things. So it's like, you know, they're calling it microaggressions, right?
Right.
It's like you don't think you're racist, but you're still like doing a few things that are very, I don't know, could be looked at race as racism.
Okay,
you know,
so I have something I've been thinking. This is a thought that I've been like pulling in through my head for the past like a couple of years, and I wanted to get your opinion. I want to get our listeners' opinions on this.
And that head is big, man.
This head is huge. Not very many hats fit on this head, but basically, I had this thought, and that is that to subscribe to or to employ what's the word that I'm looking for here? The ideology of race, as in like we human beings are a collection of different races, is inherently racist.
Just if you believe that,
if you believe that we as human beings are of different races, you are racist.
Maybe as a broad definition of, but I don't know. Racist has other meanings, man.
Right. Racist usually implies there's a hierarchy of whatever. But like, I think the first thing we need to let go of is this idea that we are of different. To say that we are different races is to almost is like literally a half a step away from saying we are different species.
I see.
Of human, like of Homo sapien or whatever.
Right.
You know, like.
But we're not all from the same. You know, I guess our DNA ultimately is from Africa or something, right?
Right.
So ultimately, yeah.
Right.
But the color of our skin is not the same. The shape of my eyes are not the same.
Right. Well, that's because we're Asian and we come from a superior alien or extraterrestrial like descendant. You know, meanwhile, everybody else is, you know, descendant of monkeys. So, you know, there's not much else we can really say about that.
Right. There you go.
Asian eyes, pictograph, like, you know, written language, no like real body odor, very little hair on the body.
We are we are descendants of Peking man.
We are descendants of a superior extraterrestrial intelligence.
Oh, okay. There you go. Right. Didn't work out for a lot of us.
Yeah,
It didn't work out so well.
When you live on this like godforsaken backwoods planet, you're gonna like mix with the mud.
COVID created in Asia,
Yeah,
spread by Asians.
I used to jokingly like, yeah, well, Asia is just a massive biological laboratory,
Definitely.
So
It's a mess.
what can you do?
Yeah.
Anyways, what's the time here?
Oh, we're at 1:15.
What?
Yeah.
I was. Do you wanna like I've been thinking about like the length of our podcasts, and I'm just doing it on air. Do you think I was thinking we should like probably instead of like a big 2 to 3 hour like
Usually it's
slugfest.
2. Usually it's 2.
Our earliest ones are 3 hours.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Now we do. We're at 2.
I think we should I think we should tap things out at an hour and a half, just because
okay.
that's how I feel. Like when I listen to like something like say Joe Rogan, I tap out after an hour.
You know what? I've been sick of his podcast lately.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. I think something.
Well, the latest one has fucking Ben Shapiro on there, and like I'm sorry, he could be an intelligent guy, but I do not want to hear anything from that jackass.
I don't know who he is actually. Is he a comedian?
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, I didn't know who he is. Anyway.
He is a libertarian conservative,
okay.
Mouth.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's been a lot of people I haven't been so excited about podcasts lately, so
right.
Except for ours.
Except for the robot and the bear. Yeah.
So have you been keeping up with our wild president? Like,
of course. Like my mornings are like I wake up somewhere around sometimes 10, sometimes 2.
So do you think he's going to get wiped out during the next election, or do you think it's going to be close? Like I was thinking he's going to win, and then now I'm like, I think he's going to get his ass kicked, but I have no, I'm not sure if I'm being unique in that.
Like we have to see how things go in the next 3 months.
Yeah. Well, in 3 months, let's say there's no vaccine. The stock market, let's say it stays the same, which is kind of raging, like raging kind of good.
Here's the
thing. But then, but our economy is actually not really good. So it's the weirdest thing. They don't relate.
Donald Trump has so many like unique forces going against him, right? He's got the Democrats. Yeah. He's got the liberals, liberal Democrats. He's got freaking never Trumpers, like slamming him.
Yeah.
Like slamming him much better than the freaking Democrats are, with like, the Lincoln Project, are just like full on attacking him. And, and then on top of that, like shit, like how many of his voters died, during all of this?
Yep. And he has, and
how many more of his voters are going to die,
And protests. I mean,
protests, Black Lives Matters,
all that goes. All that won't help the guy. So you'd think all this is happening, and then it makes me think, oh, he's gonna get wiped out, like landslide.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think he has a fighting chance.
Wow. Do you think he is the one that's making Kanye run to try to like have Kanye mess up Biden's votes?
Dude, Kanye
which might not happen.
Kanye's been shooting himself in the foot.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he still might get more Democratic votes, though, right? Even though he's technically a Republican, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, like that's if he could even get on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't know. He can't get it. I know he can't be on a ballot on a lot of states, but I thought that was interesting.
He jumped in really late, and then he like, freaking like says dumb ass shit. Like
he's a wild man.
Like what do you say? Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. He just sold them to different white owners, or some shit like that. I'm just like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're an amazing train wreck to watch. Like,
anyways, I think at the moment it looks like Trump will get wiped out like badly.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope
I think
so.
he I think he's trying to help himself now by wearing masks.
Good job. And like it's funny because like I there's a collection of videos you could find on YouTube of like all the different like news outlets kind of like, like oohing and awing the fact that his like entire coronavirus message is took a like flipped,
Right.
with the last thing. But
Yeah.
look, if he's going to start doing like coronavirus pandemic broadcasts or like updates
Oh,
or whatever,
again. Yeah, yeah. It's
again,
been a what a couple. Oh,
oh, it's going to be glorious.
yeah. More shit
Like,
show. I know.
I like I love it. Like every time at like 6 in the morning when my phone like chimes in with a new headline from CNN or from BBC or whatever concerning like what's going on out here, it is just like mwah, chef's kiss, you know,
Wow.
of of of,
Yeah.
of this train wreck after train wreck. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm like I'm going to be kind of a little bit sad like once this is all over, you know.
And you're gonna get Biden, a different kind of train wreck, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I,
well,
I I was saying I think Biden has a potential to be the greatest president ever because he's going to be coming in with the lowest of lows,
yeah.
and him doing anything good is going to be magnified. It's like, oh my God, you're amazing, because we're at the pits of our lives right now.
Well, here's the other thing that
And
like
it's like or he's going to just do a humdrum job. But I'm saying is, if he could repair things that have been so fucked up, it's going to be like, dude, you did a miracle's work, because
well,
it's you walked into a fucking train wreck.
well the thing that like once in a while crosses my mind is the fact that the way news is documented and recorded and the way news is spread and broadcasted is completely different now than it was when Obama was president,
Yep.
and it's just going to continue evolving
Yeah.
quickly. And I think that like the way we judge presidents and politicians now is going to be completely different.
Mhm. I
It's a
agree.
politician's job. I mean, well, the one I think one of the big problems, though, of course, is that like Trump is got itchy Twitter fingers, and he literally like throws himself out there
Oh
for all of
shit.
us
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah.
I doubt that like we will have another candidate like that for at least a generation after this. I think most people who want to be in
Unless
public
Kanye
office,
wins.
unless Kanye wins,
Yeah. There you go.
Kanye 2020
Yeah.
or 2024. Let's just let's like let's give him a little bit of breathing room to figure out his
Well,
platform. So yeah, I don't know. Like I love this show. I really do. Like
it's
literally
insane.
like I said, when I wake up, the first thing I do is I drink a cup of water, make myself a caffeinated beverage, and I sit down and I just start watching the news.
Wow. Yeah, it's insane.
And
Yeah.
then like an hour later, I'll like start doing things. And
So wait, are you comfortable kind of switching directions before we're done? Are you comfortable going and eating at a restaurant outside? Have you
no,
done that? Okay.
no. And actually, I was at the gallery hanging out with you to check out the Baron show.
Yep. Baron Yoshimoto
Yoshimoto,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like when I left to go and get myself a bite to eat. And I was looking around, trying to find something to eat. And like there were like tons of people like out, sitting in under tents outside or
Yeah.
sitting under like, in around tables around the business. And I didn't like it.
Because you could
It's
see the COVID in the air.
I look, 6 feet
I know.
apart, right? 6 feet apart. And like the tables are literally arranged 3 feet apart
Yeah, or less.
or less. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking.
And some of them are in tents that are somewhat covered, like it's not exact. I mean, I'm like, you're limiting the airflow with this tent
Right.
on
Yeah.
some places, and I'm like, what's it? Why not just be indoors at that point?
Right.
You're allowing business to be outside, but if you're outside in a tent and
Mm-mm.
that tent is like either 2 or 3 walls shut,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get much breeze, and the whole thing is you're defeating the purpose of being outside.
Dude, you're gonna need to get some
That's what I'm
fans
saying.
if you ever want to open up Giant Robot store again, because
Oh, dude.
just to
Well, you know what though? Every other store's open but mine. There's no fans. I bet you in those places, there's no fans in there, dude. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's open but me. I'm actually the only one. Get that?
keep keep the fans going, like keep like fans going from like or like from like the just to get that keep that air moving around,
That's what I'm
and
saying. Yeah,
and
I've got a collection of fans. So I could do it, but it's like one of those things that it's like, yeah, man, people are open. I don't know, man. I'm very uncomfortable with it all. And
no,
watching how the restaurants are doing. Like I saw a restaurant that had a table of 6, and the 6 people are sitting shoulder to shoulder, not maybe less than 1 foot apart, right?
fuck that.
And they're not. That wasn't one family. That was like 6 friends, and they have masks off. And when they're talking to each other, I mean, they could slap each other's face like this close.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I am definitely not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I do want to support like small businesses. I want to support restaurants.
Yeah.
I like if I like I stopped by Chipotle on a Sunday
Right.
on my way home from
Ooh, their stock went up today.
oh, boom.
Chipotle.
You're
booming.
welcome. You're welcome,
Booming.
Chipotle. It's me. But they had like it was the Chipotle in Rosemead, I guess, and it had this huge like open dining area, and like I think there was one other person sitting at one end of the thing, and I grabbed a table with an umbrella that had an umbrella underneath it over it, and sat on the other end, because you got to eat that shit fresh.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't taste right after it's like traveled for like half an hour.
So Tsujita, the tsukemen, does not travel well either. It's not the same. I mean, it's like I said, it's eating 85% of, if it's 100% when you go there, it's like 85 at home.
Well, it's because you gotta like, I imagine that you can't just like take it home, open it up, and eat it.
You gotta like, warm it up. You have to start all over, but it's not the same, man. I'm doing operation on it.
Yeah, like you gotta like run the noodles under like cold water again, and you gotta like fucking put the soup, the dip in a pot. Heat that shit up.
Oh, really? I didn't do it in a pot, but man, I'm not doing that again. So yeah, but nonetheless, I think.
Wait, were you microwaving it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's your problem.
Oh, whatever, dude. I'm not doing it again anyway. It just doesn't work at home. That's a eat on the spot food.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think I see Sawtell, and there are a lot of people, but I'm just unsure of how well all the businesses are doing. I have a feeling they're just barely getting by, or maybe losing money.
Yeah. Well,
because I mean, how do you go from having like let's say 30 customers inside to having like 4 outside or something? Like you can't. It's not going to work. And then your rent being like astronomical at the same time.
Oh, I know. That's that's the killer part of it all, is that.
And then having your employees, you've got like 3 in the kitchen, 2 on the floor. I mean,
well, they probably don't have that anymore. They probably have like.
They used to have like. No, they used to have like more, right? So
right, they probably have 2 in the kitchen.
Okay, 2.
And that one of one of those in the kitchen probably. Well, look. They only need 1 person on the floor now, because that person is managing 6 tables.
Okay, so get this. Who's doing the sanitizing?
That one
Nobody.
Person,
No. So they wear gloves, right? Oh, let's bust your table. Oh, I'll grab that dirty spoon. I'll grab your chopstick. I'll grab that dirty bowl. Oh, they bring it back. What do? Grab the fresh one and then give it to the person. Oh, where's your COVIDs on your hand, on the gloves? On the new dish now, because there's no bus person that cleans everything and sanitizes. It's just like they're wearing gloves, but they're touching dirty bowls and dirty shit. Yeah, but touching clean shit.
The thing is like, and this is a question that we're gonna have to ask Gerald like next week when
that saliva is on that spoon, man.
Like does coronavirus on surfaces, like,
That's a good question.
is it as I mean, like, obviously it's dangerous, but it's not like an aerated, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's not by droplets, right?
right, right.
But I don't know, man. If I have COVID, I'm gonna lick that spoon to the no end, and I'm gonna pass it on and be like, "Here, bro."
Because this could be the last meal that you have before you get a ventilator shoved down your fucking throat.
Yeah, I don't know. No, because usually it's the particles in the air, right?
Right. I
But
mean, that is.
but all I know is grabbing a plate with that COVID and touching your eye because that shit's itchy. You're gonna get something. You're gonna
See,
be all,
like,
oh, my eye is itchy.
like,
Because
that's
it's a
that like,
slim
is
eye.
that?
My eye is slim, and it traps more eye boogers, so it gets itchy. And then
No, no, that's,
I
like
just
that,
made
like,
up. I
like
just
the,
made that up.
like does it really work that way?
I have no idea.
I
I don't know.
actually saw a couple
I
in
mean,
a supermarket
it's
recently
germs,
wearing
so I don't know.
goggles, and I was just like, wow, okay, like goggles. Like,
Yeah.
do you know something that I don't? Because
Goggles, because
yeah,
they don't want that. They don't want that shit getting in their eye. Well, then that's the same. Face shield, right? Is to prevent both you spitting shit out and you getting shit in your face. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I know the surface. I know, but I know this. I know the surface stuff is getting. I know that they're kind of like, yeah, they're saying that you'll not many get it from like
I mean,
ordering to go food. I
can
get
imagine it's still like
it's
has
more
the
particles.
potential danger, but
Yeah.
I don't think it is like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, like, if you, like, wipe your hands on, like, a saliva covered, like, table and then shove it in your mouth, then you're
Or if you,
pop.
but if you what if someone, there's people sneezing and I don't
Right.
know.
Well,
Man.
I mean, the problem with sneezing is that, like, all the particles stay floating in the air for
and
longer than we
and
thought.
and I'm sure saliva is probably pretty gnarly, right?
Mhm.
If you're a COVID guy and you've got saliva and that shit's on your spoon,
You just reminded me of my third question that I wanted to ask Gerald, and that's farts.
Oh, dude! You mean a raw dog fart right in your face?
Yeah, like,
does
farting, like,
I think it does, because doesn't fart have poo particles in it?
That's
in
what
fart?
that's what I was thinking. And like,
Yeah. Oh,
if I could smell the fart through the mask.
Wow. So you tried this?
No, I haven't tried it, but
okay.
I acknowledge the possibility.
Get an N95 mask. Better be wearing an N95 mask.
Like, okay, so here's a question for you, because you have N95s. I don't have any N95s. I don't have those kind of connections. I'm not that cool.
Oh, that's just shit. It was bought long before all this.
Right, but like
it was for cleaning.
If someone farted like maybe a foot away from you while you're wearing an N95,
that'd be a really erotic day, man.
Like,
erotic night.
Can you smell it? Like, let's just say you were like sitting on my bed right here.
I'm sure you. I'm not going over there, dude.
No, listen, I'm speaking hypothetically.
Oh, I was picturing. So since I'm hetero, I was picturing like a woman's ass right in my face and farting. I was thinking
there is videos for that.
Yeah, I wasn't picturing this. I wasn't picturing robot on bear shit right here. Or vice.
I'm not even getting sexual with this. I'm just saying, like, we're hanging out, we're talking, whatever. We've got masks on.
You said 1 foot away, dude.
No, like
1 foot. Like 1 foot is like 12.
Okay, like, yeah, like, I'm just okay. 2
That's
feet
horrible.
away. 2 feet away. Right?
Why is my ass 2 feet from your face?
No,
this is not good.
It doesn't even have to be in my face. Like, but I'm questioning is like,
I have no idea.
Does the saying "He who smelt it dealt it" like change?
No. Anyways, you could ask Gerald that. I'm sure it's not healthy.
Like, or maybe is it just because it is gas as opposed to particulate?
I have no idea. I don't know, but it's bad.
That's just one of those things.
That's a question you want to ask him. You want to ask a scientist that one. All right.
That is one of the questions that I'm saving these. I don't want to give it up, because people research it and already know the answer, and they won't have any reason to like tune in to find out like the dumb questions Luke Chu has, swimming in his freaking skull concerning, all this. Because I've got a lot of dumb questions.
So a friend of mine works at a library, and he said that there was a COVID training that's 1 hour of COVID training,
Mm.
and one of the things that he mentioned is one of the messages that he took away from it is the fact that they said that if you are in someone's presence for less than 15 minutes, more than likely you'll be, nothing will happen. And I was like, I don't know. It just sounded like,
And for less than 15 minutes.
yeah. I don't know if he meant maskless, like both of you didn't have masks, but he said that the message was completely contrary to everything that he's learning or hearing, that the city training is actually like sounds really laxed compared. And he thought that was kind of weird. He was like, wait a second here. Like, you're going to promote that, like, just it just sound. He just said it was completely different than anything he's heard.
I'm
is
guessing,
the city training.
I'm assuming that what he's saying is that, like, like if you are, I mean, like,
I think he means. I
I'm
think he's
sure,
sort of
like, walking outside of my house, I have probably encountered to a certain degree, like, intensely tiny quantities of, like, of coronavirus, of the
Sure.
COVID-19 virus, just
Mm-hmm.
because it, like, you don't, like, I don't know, people walk around and
Yeah.
freaking, like, you don't know
Yeah.
who's sick or who's not sick, but it could be in such minute quantities that it just doesn't either survive on its way in, or doesn't or the body is able to work it. But if you're, you know, like breathing into someone's mouth, who is infectious, you're getting a much higher viral load, you
Yeah.
know. So it's
Uh,
like this. Have you seen those drugs for like HIV that I see, like they come up for some reason on my YouTube stream, and like they have a drug now that can repress the virus to the point where you will not test positive,
oh wow.
you know, like when you had to take an HIV test. Like,
Wow.
so does that mean if I take the drug, can I raw dog it if I had HIV?
Uh, yeah. You probably shouldn't. I don't know. Yeah. Probably shouldn't. No.
I'm like, I know I'm positive, but I've been taking the drug and like it's not coming up in tests, so you're getting a face full of it.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry guys. We're getting into weird territories here.
It's okay.
But anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to chatting it up with Gerald again.
Yep.
I'm wondering how his vaccine came out.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll
because
find
like
out.
I just saw one of his Facebook posts before I came on, and it had nothing to do with coronavirus.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Well, he's got other interests too.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
No, he's got other interests. So, but he's obviously will keep up on it. So if his didn't work out for whatever reason, I bet you he knows which ones are working out.
right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I remember like it was almost kind of, it was like for like a flash in the pan. Like there was like some news about like one of the big pharma companies like having, something that
Oh, right now, is it Pfizer or something?
is, I don't know.
There's like more than one, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're plowing ahead. And
yeah.
you want to be the first to be tested?
No.
No way. I just think this would be like basically a government funded rush job, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like a bad idea.
Sounds
They-
like a very bad
Yeah,
idea.
the track record is not looking so good right now, and I wouldn't want to be in front of this, this rush job.
Mm-mm. No, no. It's like, I think was Gerald the one telling us about like the polio vaccine, then the fuck up that like one of the pharmaceutical companies had with it, like, because I think Salk of
Yeah.
the guy the namesake of the Salk Institute, like when after he designed the polio vaccine, he gave it away to pharmaceutical companies to reproduce, to distribute across the world. And one of those pharmaceuticals fucked up in the process in the manufacturing of the vaccine and they were distributing live polio virus,
Ah.
and
Oh.
infected like tens of thousands of people.
Oh. That's
So
terrible.
yeah, that's
Right.
why you can't rush this shit. You gotta fucking like do it like smart and you gotta be careful. I
Yeah.
mean, that was over 100 years ago, so wah, wah, things can happen. So
I don't know.
people forget pretty
Sure.
quickly. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like the all this is I'm just curious, like like last time we talked, we were talking about like two different mutations of the virus, and
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
like
feel like there's
how
more than that now. We're gonna
there's
find
got
out.
yeah, there's got to be a
Yeah.
lot more than that.
And
So
actually, it'd be awesome if you guys, anyone out there listening, has questions for Gerald, who's a virologist, and well-studied virologist. Like he's really up to date on things.
yeah.
If you have questions, you guys should submit them to us,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
you know where to get a hold of us.
Yep. Just we will blast it out on Twitter before we do, and we'll
Yeah.
get questions.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
great. It'll be a fun podcast.
For sure. So we'll try to do that next week. I'll line him up. He's ready to do it.
Nice. Alrighty, guys.
Alrighty.
So where are we at?
140.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that feels like
we're good.
Like numerically like a good number, like
we're good.
140, and we even like kind of went off like some weird rails like at the end.
Yeah. Farting in faces. It became all about farting in faces and would you get COVID from it? Very wow.
Yeah. And then
that's Robot and the Bear right there.
Robot and the Bear, how you gotta love it. You gotta love it, But it was fun. I'm glad you're doing well, Eric.
We'll talk more.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
We'll this is our first warm up. It's been a while. It's been 2 months, so easing back into it again.
Okay.
All righty, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Tuning in, and see you next week.
Thanks much.